Tamela Mann's voice, the one that brought millions to tears, might be gone forever. And no, this is not a break. This is a breakdown. What if I told you her silence was not natural, but manufactured? You think this is just a health scare? Think again, because what you are about to hear might change the way you look at gospel music forever. She sang for our healing. But when she needed healing, the industry left her behind. Tamela Mann's gospel's golden voices, now, fighting to breathe, while her name and voice are being used without her. This is not a comeback story, it is a cover-up. And today, we uncover every painful truth they tried to silence. They say gospel is about faith, truth and healing. But what if one of its biggest stars was used, silenced, and digitally replaced? Tamela Mann's voice moved the world, but now her silence is revealing the industry's darkest secrets. Before you scroll, ask yourself, if they could erase her voice, what else are they hiding? David Mann could not hold back his tears, and no, this time it was not because of a touching Tyler Perry scene. The word going around in gospel circles is heartbreaking. Tamela Mann's powerful voice, the same voice that once moved hearts and lifted souls, might be gone for good. And this is not one of those emotional church moments where someone finds their way back to God. This is serious. We are talking about a silence that could end her singing career forever. Her song "Take Me to the King" may have just taken its final bow. But before we light candles and gather in prayer, we need to ask what the label refuses to say out loud. What really happened to the golden voice of gospel? Was it just the passing of time? Was she tired and pushed too far? Or is there something deeper going on, like people from her own team pushing her past her limits? Until her body gave out and her voice disappeared, whispers from inside the industry are getting louder. They say Tamela cannot stand, cannot perform, and may never set foot on stage again. And David, he is crushed. Watching the woman he loves fall from greatness while the gospel business keeps going like nothing happened, still making money off her name. If you think this is just a small gospel setback, think again. What we are about to reveal is much bigger, so sit down and breathe, because this is not a happy church moment. It is a painful gospel reality. Picture it. Tamela Mann, the same woman who once hit notes so powerful they had your grandmother shouting in the living room, now struggling to even walk to a microphone, let alone sing. And David, his heart is breaking, not for a role in a movie, but for the woman whose voice once brought people to tears, now possibly silenced for good. You think this is dramatic? Oh no, this is just the beginning. Let us take it back and talk about the woman behind "Take Me to the King," the true queen of gospel Sundays, and how everything might be slipping away. The woman whose voice could bring people to tears even through a Bluetooth speaker is now facing something truly heartbreaking. Tamela Mann may never sing again. That is right. This is not just a break from music, it is her voice, her legs, and possibly her future as a performer that are at risk. And the most painful part, this has nothing to do with age or retirement. According to insiders, it is the result of pressure, extreme weight loss, and what some are calling a so-called wellness journey that might have done more harm than good. But before anyone waves this off as just another gossip story, let us get into what people are calling the gospel industry's loudest secret. These are not just rumors whispered in church hallways. This is real information leaked from people who were there. Backup singers who shared the stage with Tamela, stylists who helped her get ready for appearances, and even an anonymous physical therapist from her recovery center have all come forward. And they are all saying the same heartbreaking thing. Tamela's body is breaking down. Her joints are severely damaged. Her vocal cords are strained, possibly beyond repair from constant overuse. Her bones hurt, her knees buckle, and her muscles shake. The very transformation that was once celebrated with applause and ad campaigns may have come at a terrible cost. Behind the glowing social media posts and stage lights was a woman who, at times, could barely stand, let alone sing. This transformation, make no mistake, was not purely for her health. It was part of a business plan. Her label reportedly launched an aggressive rebranding strategy, one meant to repackage her for a new generation of gospel followers. They rolled out a new image. Slimmed-down Tamela, now cast as a spiritual fitness icon. Suddenly, she was everywhere, posting motivational videos, launching wellness retreats, smiling beside detox teas, and even putting her name on a gospel-inspired diet cookbook. The message was clear. Tamela was glowing, thriving, and transformed by faith, but behind all those picture-perfect moments was a woman suffering. According to sources close to her team, Tamela often had trouble walking from the dressing room to the stage. Her legs were weak. She leaned on walls. Her smile hid pain, and her powerful voice had started to wear thin. While fans saw filtered snapshots of wellness, Tamela was reportedly asking for breaks between songs just to catch her breath. And what about David Mann, her husband, her life partner, her support system? Insiders say he tried. He saw what was happening. He allegedly spoke up during meetings, urging the label to slow down the schedule, to let Tamela rest, to reconsider the non-stop push for content and appearances. He begged them to focus on her health, not just her brand. But those pleas, it seems, were ignored. The machine kept moving. The business came first. The saddest part, Tamela was never given time to heal. She was expected to show up, smile, and sing no matter what her body was telling her. While others in the industry were sent to retreats and given time off, Tamela was booked, branded, and burned out. What looked like a comeback was, behind the scenes, a collapse in motion. Fans are now realizing the truth. The transformation they cheered for may have masked a slow breakdown. The wellness posts that inspired thousands may have been carefully staged to cover up a serious health crisis. What many thought was victory was really exhaustion painted to look like success. This is not just about image. It is about what happens when artists, especially women in faith-based industries, are treated like products. Tamela's journey should have been about personal growth, faith, and healing. Instead, it was repackaged, sold, and pushed until the very voice that made her famous began to fade. And now, as Tamela fights to recover in silence, the question is not just what happened, but who let it happen? And more importantly, who will be held responsible now that the truth is starting to come out? David Mann, who stood beside her through every song and every stage, could only watch as she was pushed past her limits. When her voice started to go, they told her to lip sync, but this isn't pop music, this is gospel. And fans noticed. Her concerts became more talk than song. One fan said, "She spoke more than she sang, and even that felt rehearsed." Then came the hardest news. A leaked studio memo revealed that during her last recording, her pitch control had collapsed. Her throat was inflamed, and she struggled just to breathe. One insider said the producer had to stretch her vocals digitally to make them sound right. And then came a leaked clip from a sound check, Tamela coughing midline, asking for salt water, and never returning to the mic. But the show went on. Instead of canceling, they turned up the lights and turned down her mic. And that is when fans started asking questions. Reddit threads popped up. Hashtags like hashtag let Tamela rest and hashtag Tamela needs time began trending. But her team kept posting old worship clips, vacation selfies, and vague captions like, "In God's hands we rise stronger." That was not rest. It was cover. Up. One dancer from the wellness tour even said Tamela could not get on the tour bus without help. A ramp had to be installed backstage. And backstage naps. Not for rest, for pain. Her vocal coach, known only as Sister T, allegedly quit in protest. She left a voicemail saying, "They're burning her voice out like incense. This ain't gospel, it's greed in a choir robe." And when the label tried to silence her with a payout and a spot on a gospel talent show, she refused. Now let us talk about Tamela's medical condition. Reports say her right leg has serious damage from overuse and malnutrition. Worse, her vocal cords are working at only 30% capacity. A nurse at a recovery clinic leaked a note saying, "Recommend full vocal rest. Risk of permanent silence if strained again." Let that sink in. Permanent silence. The woman who led millions in praise may now be led off the stage not by choice, but by injury. But while Tamela struggles, the machine keeps going. Allegedly, her label is even using AI to fake her vocals in new clips to keep the brand alive. What fans hear might not even be her voice anymore, and where are the churches now? The same ones that once had her leading worship. Silent, no flowers, no public prayers, nothing. As one gospel blogger wrote, they loved her when she sang. Now that she's quiet, they are too. And at the center of it all is David Mann. Heartbroken, exhausted, reportedly ready to speak out but bound by contracts, NDAs, and what one insider called the tightest PR cover-up in gospel history. You thought this was just about a singer losing her voice? Think again. We are now entering the darkest part of the story, the lies, the cover-ups, and a truth so messy, even Sunday service might not be able to clean it up. Contracts written in silence and hashtags dipped in gospel guilt. This story is deeper than anyone imagined. Let us start with the voicemail that sent shockwaves through the gospel world. A voice note, reportedly from Dr. Jackie Thagoda, healer for some of gospel's biggest names, leaked online and is now being shared like a secret in a church parking lot. In the clip, Dr. Jackie sounds shaken. She whispers, "If they keep pushing her like this, we are heading for complete vocal damage, maybe even forever. She should not even be speaking, let alone singing. I cannot be part of this anymore." It is a sign? Now pause. Dr. Jackie is no random health influencer. She has treated top gospel singers, helped 2 megachurch bishops recover from strokes, and even stopped a show when a lead singer's blood sugar dropped. If she is scared, everyone should be. But despite that warning, Tamela's team kept acting like everything was fine. One Instagram post even said, "Sis is reflecting in God's peace. Expect big things soon." But behind the scenes, her lungs were giving out and they were teasing a new EP. Meanwhile, over at the Buckhead Rehab Center, insiders were spilling more than just tea. A physical therapist, using the name Psalm Snoop, claimed Tam was getting intense nerve therapy, the kind stroke patients received. They said she needed 2 people to help her sit up and could barely hum without pain. And here's the shocker. Her team reportedly built a fake spa suite inside the rehab center. Candles, crystals, and cameras set up just to film fake wellness content for Instagram. Tamela was hooked up to machines, while her social media showed her relaxing with soft lighting and smooth skin filters. But it gets worse. A whistleblower shared internal emails from her label titled, "Marketing Strategy, Resilience and Redemption." The instructions never mention words like rehab or surgery. Instead, sell her as rejuvenated. Push smoothies, detox, drops, and faith-based products. If she cannot sing, use backup vocals or AI. They wrote, "We need a comeback story. Fans love a recovery. Comeback." She could barely breathe. Then came a tweet that caused gospel Twitter to explode. A now deleted post from David Mann's account said, "Sometimes the storm is just part of the testimony. Stay tuned for something big from Mama Mann." Big. The only big thing was Tamela's rising medical bills, and the long list of medications she needed to stay stable. And this might be the worst part. A nurse, known only as Nurse Revealed, posted on Reddit that someone had logged into Tamela's medical file from an unapproved device. Their goal? To delete any record of long-term vocal damage. Real diagnoses like vocal fold atrophy, cartilage erosion, and strict voice rest were removed, replaced with a fake note saying, "Minor strain. Responding well to rest." A few hours later, her team posted a peaceful video of Tamela looking out a window with soft music and the caption, "Some voices never fade, but hers might be gone for good." As Tamela lay in silence, her label rushed to film a documentary titled, "Whispers of a Warrior, the Tamela Mann Story." Yes, even though she was not awake to approve anything. They reportedly asked David to record a clip by her hospital bed called "I Still Believe." She could not speak, so they wanted to speak for her. And David? He stayed silent. Not a word. Not a post. Insiders say he signed a contract, one that stops him from talking about her real condition unless the label approves it. And what did he get in return? A brand new Escalade, a gift for his silence, and the business side. Chilling. According to gospel finance trackers, Tamela's brand has pulled in over $4 million in the last 6 months, even though she has not performed once. How old videos edited to look new. Worship playlists filled with extra content. Endorsements she never signed off on. And the worst of all, AI-generated vocals. Finishing songs she never got to complete. Yes, the same industry that once preached against robots in music is now using artificial voices to sing gospel in Tamela's name just to keep the money flowing. If this is not prophecy gone wrong, then what is? Tamela Mann's fans are done staying quiet. TikTok is buzzing with side-by-side videos, edits, and duets, where people are whispering, "Where is the real Tamela?" The hashtag where is Tamela just passed 2 million views. And not one person from her team has answered a single question. One gospel influencer even posted a heartbreaking video dressed in a choir robe, crying and yelling, "Y'all had her shouting in church, and now she can't even shout for help. You sold her anointing for album streams." Microphone dropped. And remember Sister Tifa, vocal coach, who walked away in protest? She went live recently and said something even heavier. She didn't just lose her voice. She lost her choice. Her label chose silence over safety. But I won't. If you thought things could not get worse, hold on. We are not stopping until every hidden contract, dusty choir robe, and silenced voice gets brought into the light. This is no longer just a story of a fallen star. It is a deep, painful look at the ugly truth behind the gospel music industry. Behind the hallelujahs and polished praise, there is manipulation, exploitation, and one of the biggest cover-ups gospel music has ever seen. Let us talk lawsuits, because now the silence is breaking, and legal letters are flying faster than church ushers during altar call. Dr. Jackie, the only person who truly seemed to care about Tamela's health, is now lawyering up. Insiders from Buckhead Clinic say she is preparing a major lawsuit for medical tampering. What does that mean? Someone, using fake credentials, reportedly accessed Tamela's medical records and changed them, removing red flags, deleting serious warnings, and replacing them with carefully crafted PR-friendly notes. And who gave the order? A leaked hospital memo says it came from the marketing department, working alongside the label's leadership. Translation: the same people selling green smoothies and gospel detox plans on TV might be the ones who ignored the medical signs that could have saved Tamela's voice and her ability to walk. But Dr. Jackie is not staying silent. In a leaked voice message, she says, "Tamela was in danger. I warned them. They erased my reports. This wasn't a mistake. It was Mel." In a choir robe, contracts keeping him quiet, they allegedly installed monitoring software on his personal devices after he tried to leak Tamela's real medical photos to the press. You heard that right. Her own husband may have tried to tell the truth, and they shut him down with legal threats, a new SUV, and a gag order so tight it makes a choir corset look loose. Fans are done watching in silence. After a scandal where robotic AI vocals were used during a live show in Dallas, the internet exploded. People stitched videos showing glitches, pitch mismatches, and lip-sync fails. One TikTok racked up over 2.3 million views in a single day. Now hashtags like #JusticeForTamela, #WhereIsTamela, and #LetHerSing are all over social media. Petitions are everywhere calling for answers, a full medical investigation, and a stop to any gospel tours using her name or voice without her approval. Even church leaders are speaking up. One megachurch pastor who had booked 3 Tamela and Friends shows canceled everything and posted, "I will not be part of a ministry that confuses prophet with prophecy. It is getting louder." A former youth choir director tweeted, "Tamela gave us a voice. Y'all gave her silence. She made us feel seen. You made her disappear." So what is Tamela's condition now? According to a recent anonymous hospital worker, who reportedly saw her chart this week, Tamela is still in critical but stable condition. Her right vocal cord is completely non-functional. Her left leg has undergone. Tamela has already had 3 major procedures to help repair the nerve and joint damage in her leg. She is supposed to start vocal reconstruction therapy soon, but only if her lungs stay strong enough to handle anesthesia. That is how fragile her health is right now. And what is her label doing in the middle of all this? They just launched a new Faith and Fit revival cruise, starring a lineup of young gospel singers lip-syncing to Tamela's old songs. Yes, you heard that right. They are literally building a show around her voice, without her even being there. One gospel commentator said it perfectly. They don't want her healed, they want her mimicked, marketed, and monetized. Tamela Mann used to be gospel's golden voice. Now, they are treating her like a ghost, still making money off her name while she lies in silence. So where do we go from here? Her fans are demanding the truth. Church communities are calling for a boycott of the label's products. And behind the scenes, rumors are growing that Dr. Jackie, along with a group of respected gospel insiders, is planning a press conference to finally expose everything. But the saddest part, Tamela still has not spoken. Whether it is because of a contract or her health, the woman whose voice helped people grieve, heal and find their way back to faith now, lies quiet. So now we need to ask, did Tamela lose her voice because of illness? Or was it taken from her by a system that used her until she had nothing left? Because this is not just about gospel. This is about control. This is about turning pain into profit. It is about an industry that sells suffering as inspiration and calls it holy. And if this could happen to Tamela Mann, the queen of gospel, then who is safe? Ask yourself, what is the real gospel truth? Is this just a tragic health story? Or is this the gospel industry's darkest secret finally coming to light? Because when Tamela's voice disappeared, all we got in return were AI covers, merch drops, and vague feel-good social media posts. No answers, no honesty, just more noise. Let us be real, this is not gossip. This is truth, hard truth. And It deserves to be heard, so now it is your turn. Do you think David Mann was silenced? Was Tamela exploited by the people who claimed to protect her? Is the gospel world finally ready to face the consequences? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you believe Tamela deserves real healing, not another brand deal. Subscribe for more honest, unfiltered deep dives the industry does not want you to hear. And share this with someone who needs to know the truth behind the gospel, because if they could take Tamela's voice, what makes you think they will not try to silence yours next? This has been your wake-up call. Stay loud, stay bold, and never stop asking, who is really pulling the strings?